What if I told you that waiting just 5 years to get intentional with your money could cost you over $500,000 by the time you retire? Most people think a top 10% net worth means earning 6 figures, getting a windfall, or running their own business. But there's one mistake even good savers make that quietly locks them out of true wealth. According to the Federal Reserve, if you're under 35 and have more than $39,000, you're ahead of half your peers, but you need over $372,000 to make the top 10%. Today, I'll break down exactly what numbers you need by age, show you how to avoid the most common trap, and give you the 5 crucial steps anyone at any age can start right now to change their financial future. Stay tuned, because every year counts, and that gap only grows with time. Let's set the record straight right now. Being in the top 10% of net worth for your age is a bigger leap than most people expect. But it's not reserved for trust fund kids or wealthy business owners. In fact, you might already be far closer to that group than you think. And if not, the roadmap is way clearer than you've been told. First, let's define our terms so you can spot exactly where you stand. Net worth is everything you own, your assets, cash in the bank, investments, your home's equity, even your car, minus everything you owe. Credit cards, student loans, mortgages. Today's numbers are household numbers, not just individual. So if you have a partner, your finances are combined. Source for all this: Federal Reserve Survey of Consumer Finances, 2022. When you hear the median net worth, that's the 50th percentile. Half of households are below, half above. It's not the average. The very wealthy don't skew it up. So these benchmarks actually show what a middle-of-the-pack household really has at each stage. Let's jump in with the first big number. For Americans under 35, the median net worth is roughly $39,000. That likely feels low for some, but think about the realities. Student debt, first homes still on the horizon, maybe just starting a real salary, often renting, and very few have combined finances yet. If you're over that $39,000 line in your early 30s, congratulations. You're ahead of half your peers. At Mark Invests, I want you to track your progress with real context, not just a gut feeling. But listen to this. To be in the top 10% for your age, under 35, you need a net worth around $372,000. That's almost 10 times the median. Where does this kind of wealth come from at this age? It's rarely a single factor. Typically, it's someone who's been investing diligently since their early 20s, maxing out 401k or Roth IRA contributions, skipping lifestyle jumps when they get that first raise, maybe owning a starter property or running a small side hustle. Every dollar starts working for them early, and compounding quietly does the heavy lifting. Now, let's put this into perspective with a real-world example. Picture Emily, 32 years old. She started investing $500 a month in a Roth IRA at age 23, at an average annual market return of 7%, historical, not guaranteed. By 32, that one habit alone could have grown to over $77,000. If she maxed her 401k as well, held off on upgrading her car or renting a more expensive apartment for a few extra years, and earned equity in a modest condo, her total wealth could approach that $372,000 mark without making 6 figures. Most people simply underestimate the power of starting early and letting compounding work. Drop your current age group in the comments. Where do you stand compared to these benchmarks? Let's get a real sense of where this community sits. And if you're feeling behind, don't check out just yet. The next bracket is where most people start to see their hard work pay off, sometimes suddenly. Moving up to age 35 to 44, the median net worth jumps to about $135,000. Source again, Federal Reserve SCF 2022. What's driving this climb? Home equity. Most people in this range finally buy their first house. Let's say you purchased a home at 35 with 10% down and an average appreciation. By your early 40s, you might have $60,000 to $100,000 in equity, even after a mild market year. Here's the thing. At this stage, a lot of progress isn't about rapid new savings. It's about your biggest assets quietly growing in the background. Want to know how far the top 10% have pulled away? For 35 to 44-year-olds, the number soars to roughly $1,142,000. That's over 1 million. Yes, most people here are married or partnered, combining dual incomes and pooling resources, but it's also about smart choices, consistent investing, resisting lifestyle creep, fancy cars, McMansions, expensive hobbies just because the neighbors have them, and letting their money compound. If you're tracking, there's no lottery ticket. It's thousands of small choices lining up. Here's a key detail most people miss. Millions of Americans double their net worth in their 30s and 40s simply by teaming up. The financial benefits of sharing income, pooling investments, and tackling debt together multiply exponentially over time. So if you're thinking you're behind as a single earner, know that two steady median net worths combined can rocket a household surprisingly close to that top 10%, especially with an investing mindset. But is it too late if you're already past 40? Wait till you see the numbers for the next age group and the hidden advantage of compounding that often surprises even experienced savers. Ages 45 to 54, the median net worth rises to about $246,000. A lot of people in this bracket have chipped away at their mortgage, paid down other debts, seen investments grow, and maybe even inherited small sums. But the truly eye-opening number is the top 10%. $1,956,000. Close to $2 million. Here's where I want to share a real scenario. Based on actual client stories I've tracked as a financial educator, meet Carlos and Jasmine. Both teachers never broke $90,000 in annual combined income. They started saving 12% of their paychecks into a 403(b) and Roth IRAs from age 27. No windfalls, no rich relatives. Now, at 51, their investment accounts top $710,000. Because they refinanced to a 15-year mortgage in their early 40s and kept driving their reliable used Hondas, their home equity crossed $350,000, a total net worth above $1,060,000. Putting them squarely above the median and on a predictable path to eventually reach that $2 million mark. Study after study. Ramsey Solutions 2020 finds 1/3 of millionaires never earn six figures in a single year. Teachers, engineers, managers all hit this level by prioritizing saving and investing early on. Right now, if you're thinking, but Mark, is $2 million really necessary? Remember, averages can be misleading. So don't assume you have $2 million to spend in cash. In fact, hitting the median is already a major achievement. But getting to the top 10% means years, sometimes decades, of resisting the urge to keep up with the Joneses, investing steadily, and letting compounding work for you. Are you starting to see a pattern in these numbers? When you hit your 50s, you start to enjoy the fruits of financial discipline. But even then, is it too late to catch up? The real compounding magic is about to show itself in the next segment, especially if you're coming up on retirement. For ages 55 to 64, the median net worth, $364,000. According to the Federal Reserve's 2022 summary, notice the increase slows. That's because earning often plateaus or falls, while health costs and supporting adult kids might ramp up. Still, this is a crucial decade for topping off retirement and reducing risk. The top 10% at this stage, a huge leap to $2,961,000, almost $3 million. Here's what life looks like at this level. You've got a nice home, maybe paid off or close, $700,000 in home equity, reliable cars, maybe a vacation property, investments or IRAs that yield enough to let you sleep easy, travel, or help your grandkids with college. Using the 4% rule, if nearly $3 million were all invested, it could potentially generate about $120,000 a year in income. But most households in this bracket have $500,000 to $1 million in home equity, with the remainder in investment accounts. A good portion also comes from two earners working in tandem over decades. You don't need to strike it rich. You need to stick to a long-term plan, make smart calls during market downturns, and adapt as life throws curves. Quick pause. If you want the full top 10% net worth checklist as a free download, type checklist below and I'll send you the link, or check the pinned comment for direct download. Make sure you grab this guide. It covers explicit savings targets for every decade and a full roadmap based on today's numbers. And for those who think it's impossible to make such a jump, let's run the math together. If you're 35 and want to have $2.3 million in investable assets by age 65, and you're starting from zero, using a 7% annual return, you'd need to invest about $1,900 a month. That's just under $23,000 per year for 30 years, with each year's amount adjusted for inflation. That's equivalent to a household earning $150,000 investing 15%, or a household earning $76,000 investing 30%. Appalled, ambitious. Yes, but those contributions could get you to that $3 million target with steady discipline. Remember, this is educational only, not financial advice. Past performance doesn't guarantee future results. Consult a licensed financial advisor for your specific situation. Now, let's move to the 65 to 74 age group. The median net worth edges up again, hitting $410,000. Here, most are retired or phasing out of work. The top 10% is just a touch higher than the previous group at $2,197,000. That's because the focus shifts from making money to maintaining it. Many here have paid off homes and sizable IRAs or 401ks, and some choose flexible work because they want to, not because they must. Lifestyle is less about extravagance and more about freedom. The freedom to live comfortably, travel when and where they choose, to help family or causes they care about. For many, net worth peaks now and starts to slowly draw down as healthcare, spending on grandkids or bucket list items take priority. It's not about dying with the most money. It's about using wealth as a tool for flexibility, security, and confidence. So, what does it really take for an ordinary household to get there? Imagine having $3 million at this stage, $750,000 in home equity and valuable possessions, and $2,250,000 in investments. Those numbers are intimidating, but let's break down what it means. Consistent, inflation-adjusted savings and investing for 30 years. No inheritance or windfall required. just stepwise action. If you feel like it's too late, don't let that discourage you. The secret is the gap between the top 10% and the median is wide. But many people live well above average with much less. Even being just above median signals strong habits that can set you up for future success. Add your story below. What's one wealth-building habit you wish you'd started 10 years ago earlier? Finally, for age 75 and up, net worth typically dips. Median is now $333,000. Much of that is being spent on enjoying life, health expenses, and gifts to family. So the slight drop makes sense. Top 10%, $2,681,000. That drop shows that even the highest earners draw down some of their investments, intentionally or not. That gap between the average and the ambitious keeps ballooning as you get older. Early builders, compounding, and discipline. High conviction investing always pull ahead over decades. It's not about being smarter or luckier. It's about being consistent and patient. Every additional year you wait to start means hundreds of thousands of dollars in lost. Compounding, according to every major study on retirement savings. So let's do the math. If you wait 5 years longer to start investing at $1,900 per month and 7% returns, you'll need to bump your monthly contribution to almost $2,900 to make the same. $2.3 million by age 65. That's one single decision costing you almost $360,000 over 30 years. It's not too late. Every year you wait costs you more, but every year you start pays you back for decades. Now, are you ready for a clear roadmap? Here's the actionable framework I promised. The top 10% net worth checklist. Grab paper, screenshot this, or grab your free copy below. First, automate at least 15% of your gross income into long-term savings and investments. That means 401k, IRA, or brokerage accounts. Set up automatic transfers for each payday. Second, prioritize avoiding and paying off high-interest debt, especially credit cards and payday loans. These are wealth killers. Every dollar paid in interest is a dollar lost from your future self. Third, check your net worth at least annually. Use a free tracking app or a simple spreadsheet. Set age-based targets: 39,000 by 35, 135,000 by 44, 246,000 by 54, and so on. See Federal Reserve data in the description for all source numbers. Fourth, keep lifestyle inflation in check. Whenever you get a raise, increase your savings rate before you upgrade your car or apartment. Fifth, learn and adjust. Periodically rebalance your investment portfolio and read at least one finance article, book, or podcast monthly. Stay educated to adapt as markets shift. Remember, this information is for education only, not personalized financial advice. Actual results vary based on your situation. Past market performance does not guarantee future results. Always consult a licensed advisor before making any major moves. Share this video with someone who thinks they're too late, and comment below with your current progress. Are you above or below your age bracket's median net worth? Let's build accountability in this community. Quick recap. Median net worth by age gives you the halfway point, while the top 10% shows you what's possible if you start early and stay consistent. 39,000 by 35, 135,000 by 44, 246,000 by 54, 364,000 by 64, 410,000 by 74, and 333,000 at 75 plus. For the top 10%, those numbers stretch far higher, up to 3 million. But remember, it's not about perfection. It's about making steady, Intentional moves now, no matter your starting point. Action steps. First, figure out your current net worth and compare it to your age group's median and top 10%. Numbers. Just knowing where you stand sparks action. Make a plan to automate at least 15% of your income toward retirement accounts, or as close as possible. Download the free Top 10% checklist, linked in the description or comment checklist below. For concrete monthly goals for every decade, revisit your plan every 6 to 12 months. Check your net worth, take your budget, and update your numbers based on changes in income or expenses. Keep learning. A podcast episode, article, or book every month can make a huge difference. If you put these habits into practice now, you'll start seeing measurable results within a year or two. Bigger savings, less debt, and more peace of mind. Over a decade, your net worth can multiply several times over. And every year, you start early compounds that advantage for decades. If you found this helpful, subscribe to Mark Invests and turn on notifications. Next week, I'll break down specific investing strategies for growing retirement accounts faster and avoiding common tax mistakes. If this opened your eyes or gave you a new plan to reach the top 10%, share this with someone you want to build wealth with and comment below your single biggest money challenge right now. I'm replying to then top questions in next week's video. Finally, this information is for educational purposes only. It's not personalized advice. Past performance doesn't guarantee results. Always consult a licensed financial advisor for recommendations tailored to your situation.